The first time I stepped into my future in-law's home, I was overwhelmed with nerves. My future sister-in-law Melissa greeted me with a friendly smile saying, "Nice to meet you." But as soon as Adam, my fiancé, left the room, her expression changed. "You should just leave," she said sharply, throwing water at me. Shocked and speechless, I stood there, drenched, as my future in-laws, who were present, merely mumbled, "Well, let's not make a scene." Flushed with embarrassment, I tried to compose myself. Just as I was gathering my thoughts, Melissa's husband, Ken, arrived. "Hello, nice to meet you," I said, attempting to ignore what had just happened. Ken seemed confused. "Wait a minute," he said. Melissa turned pale and the room grew tense. "I'm Lisa, 30, I began, trying to stay steady. "Adam and I met through mutual friends and now we live quietly together. Although we don't have children, I feel content. Our journey started years ago. After finishing vocational school, I worked in housekeeping services, which I truly enjoyed. I found happiness in helping busy families by cleaning and cooking, creating peaceful environments for them. For families with young kids or elderly members, I assisted with daily tasks, providing comfort. I found great satisfaction in improving others' lives. One family that stood out was the Thompsons. I was assigned to their large, elegant home, owned by a wealthy couple. I was taken aback by the mansion's size, though I noticed parts of it were poorly maintained. "Hello, I'm Lisa. I'll be helping today," I introduced myself. Mark Thompson, the husband, gave me a warm greeting. "I'm Mark, and this is my wife, Amy. We're grateful for your help. This place is too much for us." Amy, though tired, greeted me with a gentle smile. As I explored the house and planned where to start, I noticed their garden, which, though a little overgrown, had beautiful flowers that Amy had lovingly tended. "Your flowers are lovely," I remarked. "Thank you," she replied softly. "I've been taking care of them for years." I got to work, cleaning windows, dusting furniture, and tidying the rooms. Mark and Amy watched me at times, chatting between my tasks. "You're very skilled for someone so young. How did you get into this?" Mark asked. "I've always enjoyed cooking and cleaning," I answered. "I wanted to pursue a career where I could truly make a difference." Mark nodded in approval. Over time, we became closer, sharing stories over tea. One day, Amy showed me their family album. "Is this your son?" I asked, pointing to a picture. "Yes," she said. "He works for a big company and travels a lot right now. I think he's in, well, I'm not sure where." The pride in their voices was clear, though there was a hint of sadness. "You must be so proud of him," I said. "We are," Mark replied, his voice heavy with longing. "But we miss him terribly. When he comes home, it's the highlight of our year." Their deep yearning for their son touched me. For Amy's 77th birthday, Mark asked for a special favor. "Lisa, could you prepare something special for Amy? It's her birthday." I was honored to do so and cooked her favorite Japanese dishes, along with a homemade cake. When Amy saw the meal, tears filled her eyes. "This is the best birthday I've had in years." "Thank you, Lisa," she said. Her words deeply moved me. But life brought sorrow. One day, I arrived at the house to find a black ribbon hanging on the front door. Amy met me with red eyes, her voice trembling. "I'm so sorry, Lisa, but Mark passed away yesterday." The news hit me like a wave. Mark, who had always welcomed me with a smile, was gone. Grief overwhelmed me and I struggled to breathe. In the days that followed, Amy withdrew into herself. She stopped caring for her garden and the flowers began to fade. She spent her days sitting quietly, staring into space. I tried to comfort her, but nothing seemed to help. The meals I prepared for her went untouched. "Lisa, I think it's time for me to prepare for my departure," Amy said one day, her voice heavy with sadness. Her words shattered my heart. Even so, I didn't give up on her. I took her on walks around the neighborhood and, with her son's permission, arranged small outings to lift her spirits. "Since you started visiting, my days have felt brighter," she said one afternoon. "I don't feel so alone anymore. Thank you." Her words meant everything to me. But just days after sharing this with me, Amy quietly passed away. I was heartbroken. The house, once full of life and love, now felt empty. I threw myself into my work, trying to numb the pain. My close friend Emma noticed my struggle. "Lisa, I think you need to meet someone. He's a great guy," she said gently. "Just give it a try." After Amy's death, I felt a gaping emptiness in my heart. I went through the motions of work, but nothing seemed to bring me joy. Emma invited me to a dinner, hoping it would lift my spirits. That night, I decided to dress up and push through my sorrow. At the restaurant, I saw Emma waving at me. Sitting next to her was a man I didn't recognize. "Lisa, meet Adam," Emma said with a warm smile. "I think you two will get along." Adam greeted me with a kind smile, and during dinner we talked about our jobs, hobbies, and families. As the evening progressed, I shared my story about Amy, and before I knew it, I was in tears. "I'm so sorry," I apologized, embarrassed. "It's okay," Adam said softly. "Losing someone close is never easy." His understanding comforted me, and for the first time in ages, I felt a sense of relief. Adam's warmth and compassion made me feel safe. From that night on, Adam and I stayed in touch. We met often, shared meals, and chatted during breaks. Gradually, spending time with him helped me heal. One evening, in a quiet cafe, I said, "Adam, I feel so at peace with you. I want to be with you forever." Adam smiled, surprised but pleased. "I feel the same, Lisa. You make my heart feel calm. I want us to keep sharing these peaceful days together." Tears of happiness filled my eyes. With Adam by my side, I felt ready to face anything. Our time together was filled with love and tranquility. A few years later, we decided to marry, beginning a new chapter in our lives. When the day arrived to meet Adam's parents, I couldn't help but feel anxious. As we neared their doorstep, my hand shook, but Adam gave my hand a reassuring squeeze. "It's all right, Lisa," he said with a gentle smile. "My family is great." At the door, Adam's parents, Ryan and Sarah, welcomed us with open arms. "Hi, I'm Lisa," I said, trying to sound confident. "Thanks for having me," I added. "Welcome. We're so happy to meet you," Sarah said, beaming. "Come on in, make yourself comfortable." They led us into the living room, where Adam's older sister, Melissa, sat. She greeted me with a bright smile. Melissa was absolutely stunning, with long, glossy black hair and eyes that seemed to sparkle with life. Her upbeat personality lit up the room. "Hey, I'm Melissa, Adam's sister. Thanks for coming," she said warmly. "It's a pleasure to be here," I replied, smiling back. We quickly fell into a comfortable conversation about how Adam and I met. "So, how did you two meet?" she asked. "We were introduced through mutual friends," I explained. "From the moment I met him, I was drawn to his kindness." "How sweet," Melissa said with a fond smile. "Adam's always been so gentle and caring. He's been that way since he was little." Listening to the stories of Adam's childhood filled me with joy. It was clear he had been raised in a loving family. The evening was going smoothly until Adam excused himself. "I'll be back in a minute," he said, heading to the bathroom. The moment he left, Melissa's attitude shifted. Her eyes turned icy and the smile faded from her face. "Why would he be with someone like you?" she sneered. "You're just a housekeeper." I froze, unsure of how to respond. "You don't belong in this family," she continued. "Anyone can do housework. You're just a servant." She scrutinized my outfit and scoffed. "And that outfit, it's so outdated. How embarrassing to stand next to Adam looking like that." My eyes welled up with tears, but I couldn't find the words to defend myself. "This is exactly why you'll always just be a maid," she said before grabbing a glass of water and throwing it at me. The cold water drenched me instantly. I gasped in shock, standing frozen. "Oops, now the floor is wet," she mocked. "Why don't you clean it up? Isn't that your job?" Her laughter rang through the room. Adam's parents remained quiet, offering only weak protests. "Come on, let's not make a scene." When Adam returned, he immediately noticed the wet floor. "What happened here?" he asked, his tone concerned. I forced a smile, trying to hide the tears. "It's nothing. I just had a little spill," I said, excusing myself to the kitchen to calm down. As I wiped my face, Adam appeared behind me. "Lisa, are you all right?" he asked softly, his worry evident. "What happened?" I hesitated before responding. It was Melissa. She threw water on me. She called me a maid and told me to clean up. Adam's face darkened. Without a word, he stormed back into the living room, anger evident in his voice. "Melissa, what is wrong with you? Why would you treat Lisa like that?" Melissa crossed her arms and feigned innocence. "What? I was just asking her to do her job. Isn't she a housekeeper? Adam's parents shifted awkwardly in their seats but remained silent. That's enough, Melissa, Adam raised his voice. Lisa isn't just a maid. She's my partner and you owe her an apology. Melissa rolled her eyes in dismissal. Adam, you're overreacting. She needs to get used to our family dynamic. I stood frozen, watching the scene unfold. I couldn't understand why Adam's parents didn't intervene. It dawned on me that Melissa had always been the favored child, the one coddled and protected by her parents. Just then, the door opened and a tall, well-dressed man entered. Sorry I'm late, he said, his deep voice cutting through the tension. Just got back from my trip. Melissa's face lit up. Ken, you're home, she said excitedly. The man, Melissa's husband, smiled. Hi, everyone. I'm Ken, he said before turning to me. His smile faltered. Wait, are you Lisa? I nodded, a bit confused. Yes, I'm Lisa. It's nice to meet you. Ken's face softened. I can't believe it. My parents always talked about you. You were such a big help to my mom after my dad passed. She always said you were like family to her. Tears welled in my eyes at his kind words. I'm glad I could help. Ken turned to Melissa, now serious. Melissa, what's going on here? Why is Lisa soaking wet? Melissa turned pale and stammered, I didn't mean to. Ken's expression grew stern. You didn't mean to? Melissa, this is completely unacceptable. Lisa has been a blessing to our family. She deserves respect. I'm sorry, Melissa whispered, her voice shaky. Ken shook his head. Sorry isn't enough. You need to take responsibility for your actions. Melissa burst into tears. I don't know why I acted that way, she confessed, wiping her eyes. I felt jealous. Lisa has worked hard for everything, and I've always had everything handed to me. I felt small and useless and I lashed out. I'm truly sorry. Her apology hung in the air, leaving the room silent. For the first time, Melissa's vulnerability shone through. Melissa, I said quietly, thank you for apologizing. I hope this marks the beginning of something better for you. Ken sighed. Melissa, none of this makes up for your actions, but I'm glad you're starting to understand. Real change is needed. Melissa nodded, wiping away her tears. I will. I promise. The atmosphere remained heavy as Adam gently took my hand. Let's go, Lisa. We've had enough for tonight. As we left, Adam squeezed my hand. I'm so sorry, Lisa. I never thought Melissa would behave like that. It's okay, Adam. She has her own struggles. I just hope she learns from this. The drive home was quiet but comforting. I knew that whatever challenges we faced, we would face them together. Months later, Melissa's life took a dramatic turn. Her marriage to Ken fell apart as trust broke down completely. They separated and Melissa, no longer having the constant support of her parents or Ken, was forced to face the reality of living on her own. Slowly, she began to grow, finding a job, managing her finances, and discovering a strength she never knew she had. One day, I bumped into Melissa at a coffee shop. She looked different, still confident but with a humility that came from within. Lisa, she said softly, it's been a while. It has. How are you? She hesitated. I'm doing better. I've had time to reflect on everything. I want to sincerely apologize. I was wrong to treat you like that. Her sincerity caught me off guard. I can see you're working on yourself, Melissa. That's what matters. She smiled, a small but genuine smile. Thank you. As for Ken, he moved forward, focusing on his career and personal growth. Meanwhile, Adam and I continued building our life together, our bond growing stronger with each challenge we overcame. I'm proud of you, Lisa, Adam said one evening. Why? I asked. Because you stayed true to yourself. You're the strongest person I know. His words warmed me. No matter what came our way, I knew we would face it together. And for the first time in a long while, I felt at peace.